We'll do it. We'll do it just for a second here. Philly.500. Oh, wait a minute. Did they take it down? Oh, no, they didn't. Philly.500. I want you to listen. Hold on here.
You got to be so hungry for this. That's the only way it's going to take another step. And are you humble enough to say, hey, this is what I need to get better at? Are you hungry for it? Are you starving for this? Do you want it so bad that you can't sleep? So we got to make sure that we are honest with ourselves and we attack this. We know where we're going.
This was posted on the Twitter page of the Philadelphia Eagles. Hey, man, I'm dude, I get goosebumps here from Harry High School. I'm ready to rock, man. Aren't you ready to rock? You got to be ready to rock, man. They posted that shit right there on the website. Without further ado, we so love when he comes on the show. He is our friend, the legendary Philly.500. Has to be motivated.
What's happening, Big Sills? Yo,
doing,
I've never been more motivated to play football in my life from my living room. That guy is a true motivator. I'll tell you what. When you're down, look at Nick Sirianni will take you up.
Hey, wait, Billy. What's this? When I think of inspiration, I think of Nick Sirianni.
Oh yeah. I've seen the way he really motivates these guys to play. When you're 10-1, you're on a losing streak, a bad week. Those guys respond to him. They really do.
What do you think they're trying to accomplish by putting that out there like that?
I don't know. I mean,
Let me stop you here. I want to give you this because this is what John McMullen said to Zander this morning. They had this big summit between Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts, and he thinks the owner parachuted in to have these guys because now he said this. He goes, even Hurts' words. He goes, we were able to come together in harmony. I didn't know there was a problem between the two that was really as public, but I guess there was. And that the owner probably felt that there needed to be some airing of differences here during this bye week. Jalen even says, this is one of the most productive bye weeks I've ever had in my career. Do you think the owner made these two guys sit down during the bye week and air their differences out and their grievances out on why the team they thought was bouncing around a little bit out of the gate here?
I mean, to me, it's a little suspect that John McMullen would know that or just think that and throw that out there. He obviously heard something or knows something, in my opinion. So, yeah, they probably did. What Jalen Hurts said, to me, told us everything we were complaining about, we were worried about it with Nick Sirianni being, part of this offense still. I mean, does it not tell you that he's got some sort of influence over what's going on? And Jalen Hurts probably doesn't like it. And he's done it anyways. That's probably what they were fighting about. I don't know. But there's obviously something wrong because we've heard all the rumors in the summer. Now you get Jalen Hurts saying that in the press conference the other day, and then you get the nice Twitter promotion to try to build Nick up. So yeah, I mean, we have a Nick Sirianni, or we could call him by his true name, Nick Kotite problem.
Nick Kotite, okay, Nick Kotite. You're right. It seems to be a public relations rollout here. Get this. Get the quarterback together. Is it? You're right. This is a Bob Lang special. Look what they did. This is a Bob Lang special. They got how many times have you ever heard Jalen Hurts back Nick Sirianni or give him any kind of kudos when it came to being a leader of the team? Isn't this the first time he said, we're the leaders of the team. We have to be together. And then, like you say, all of a sudden, then this rollout with this video comes out,
Right.
this looks like it's preconceived.
Absolutely. You got to build them up. I mean, also don't forget, we just went through a whole week where they were on the bye week and people were complaining, where are the Eagles? Why are they not practicing? They really think they could go on vacation for a week? So why not come out with, hey, we've had the most productive off week in the history of my football career. So a lot of it is a lot of it, I mean, there's some truth of what obviously with there's something going on between Jalen and Nick, but obviously I think some of it too is to try to show that they're all on the same page.
How about this one too? I'm not saying they're going to lose, but let's just say, God forbid, they do.
Oh,
If they lose by 10 points or 7 points on Sunday, do they fire him Monday?
God, you got to, right? I mean, dude, the Cleveland Browns may have the worst quarterback in the National Football League right now.
The
He
worst
actually,
offense.
yeah, they can't move the ball. I don't see how it's acceptable by the Eagles winning by any less than 10 points. To me, anything less than that is unacceptable.
You think the defense then is going to show up against that offense?
I think even if half a defense shows up against that offense, that's still a pretty good day because I mean, Deshaun Watson has more a higher rushing yard average than throwing yard average. He can't throw. I watch him versus Washington. He can't throw the ball. He's done.
Give me your take on Devin White and that storyline, and then I'm going to give you my kind of take on what happened. You tell me if you subscribe to it or you think I'm reaching. Give me your take first, though. I want to hear what you think on why that went sour.
I think something happened with Devin White and either that coaching staff or front office. I don't believe that you go into every training camp practice, which I was live for, where he's starting at linebacker. Then all of a sudden one day, oh, Nakobe Dean beat him out. If Nakobe Dean beat him out, we would have seen signs of that at practice. And then go from, oh, he's out because of an injury. Then he's out for no reason at all. Oh, now it's personal. Something happened that they didn't even want to play him. And I think it's a mistake. But at the same time, it really would depend on what it is. But to me, something obviously happened between either the coaches, front office, and him.
Follow me here. I showed people a professional football contract yesterday, and you had playing incentives in it that you had, like, remember something here now in White, and I agree with you 100%. They had a base of 3.5, but they had incentives in his contract that would pay him up to $8.5 million. And if you remember right, there was roster bonus signings that you could have made weekly. So get this. He was on the 53-man roster, but he wasn't on the game day active roster for Sundays. He was a healthy scratch in all 4 games. He would have made $100,000 for being on the Sunday roster, and if he had started, he would have made an additional 90. He would have made $200,000 over the first 4 weeks. I think the Eagles went like this. Well, shit, I'm not going to pay a guy who's going to play just as well as Nakobe Dean. I'm not going to do that. So to me, because like you said, where did he beat him out? I mean, Philly, where did he win that job? I don't remember him in the preseason playing well. I don't remember him. Didn't he miss a lot of the preseason and the practices because he was still nursing an injury? I don't remember him beating him out. And let's just say this. Say he did suck. You never gave him a chance to suck really on the field. Right. How do you know he beat him out? I think this came down to an economics thing on why they didn't want to pay his contract out to start paying those incentives, so they cut him loose.
I mean, I never knew the Eagles to be that cheap. Not under Lurie. Lurie, I mean, those guys pay
at the
a lot of guys.
At the linebacking position, you see
they don't like to pay. Yeah, that's true. But man, it sounds like, I mean, $100,000, $90,000. That's like a $20 bill in my pocket for them. It ain't nothing.
But so, it's $200,000. Look, get this. First 4 games, that's $1 million.
Yeah.
$200,000 is $1 million.
I have no idea. But I just find it weird. You can't tell me that you didn't even want to throw him out to see what he could do, or like
Agreed.
come up with ways to use him to rush the passer, which he's really good at. He just lost his job one day. He was the only linebacker out of every day at practice that started with the first team. So I think there's obviously something weird going on.
I do. I'm with you. I don't see that here. How about this one here? How do you see this thing playing out Sunday? I mean, do you expect them to have a bounce back game and this be a comfortable win?
I expect it. I think that they need to have a comfortable game. They need to come out and just run over this team. They should be angry. To me, anything less than that, I'm going to blame on the coach and say, this guy does not get his team to respond. They could put up all the Twitter highlights of him yelling and saying stuff, but they don't respond. They didn't respond at the end of last year, and they're still not responding. To me, we're going to know, in my opinion, everything we want to know about how this team listens to him. They can say he's a nice guy and they like him and it's not his fault. But if you don't respond, if you don't come out versus Cleveland and run over them, I think it's a problem. I really do.
Are you worried about Hurts?
Yeah, I'm worried. I think there's way too many turnovers. Obviously, he's missing reads and stuff. But my theory on it is, before I can really circle it and say, all right, Hurts is a problem, we need another quarterback, we got to move on, or anything like that, I have to take Nick Sirianni out of the equation on offense. When he is gone and he is removed, because what if Nick Sirianni is screwing this guy all up? What if he's got this guy not liking the plays that are coming in, not trusting things going on because it's coming from Nick? And these are a lot of the mistakes. We've got to get Nick Sirianni out of the equation and let it be Kellen Moore and Jalen. And if it continues, then yes, I will say we've got a problem. But until Nick Sirianni is out of that situation, I don't know.
Let me say this to you. The best thing that happens, and I'm not listen. Do I believe they're going to lose Sunday? I believe that 10-point. I'll tell you what, I'm taking the Browns in the 10, but I'm not saying they're going to lose outright. I'm not saying that. But I haven't seen enough of an offense. And Billy, everyone's like this. Well, they're going to get AJ and Devontae back in lane. Well, shit, you had those guys last year. You had those guys last year. Nick made a very interesting comment in his presser. Everybody says don't bring up 2023. Nick says he goes back 4 years and look at the process of how they do business in his presser. So when you and I are looking at 2023 and we're seeing the same mistakes, just different people are being in different positions, we're seeing the same mistakes. That's my problem with the offense right now. Just because you had AJ and just because you had Devontae, we're assuming they're going to be better. But that doesn't assume Jalen's going to be better.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know. I mean, we got to go out and play. But
where would this team be without Barkley?
They'd be probably 1-3 right now,
1-3,
something like that. But they should be 3-1. I mean, if you look at the Tampa game, I mean, come on. You have both of your best receivers are out, and you use him 10 times. You use him 10 times, and then you say, oh, go ahead, Hurts. Go out there and throw to these guys you don't trust, do all this stuff. No wonder he's missing reads, and he's holding on to the ball too long. You're putting him and setting him up to fail. That's how I see it. I mean, how did they set Jalen Hurts up to succeed versus the Browns? I mean, versus the Buccaneers 2 weeks ago. They didn't. They set him up to fail.
But Philly, get this, though. He said in the presser yesterday, he goes like this. He's like, he asked if is it Kellen's new offense and the lack of the personnel and the star personnel? He goes, it's both. He goes, your comfort zone when you have Devontae and when you have AJ in there, and there's a lot of new nuances to the offense. So you're telling me that guy can't elevate lesser players? Isn't that the role of the quarterback to elevate those guys as well? And that he's just in a comfort zone only when Devontae and AJ are out there?
My personal opinion on this is there are two quarterbacks in this league that can elevate guys that aren't that good. Mahomes and Josh Allen. Everybody else needs weapons around them to succeed, as far as I'm concerned. I don't think there's any other quarterback but those two guys that I can look at and go, wow, they have less weapons than they do more.
So you think he was just being honest? Okay,
Yeah.
that's a good way to. Okay, that's a good way to look at it. I mean, you're
And
right.
What I'm also saying is that that's not. I don't think that's like only a Jalen Hurts thing. I think literally 30 other starting quarterbacks in the National League can't do it either. You have to have weapons. Only two guys right now playing, I think, can play with lesser talent.
Couple last ones here for you. How much responsibility do you put on Howie for constructing this football team? I want to show you something here. Miss Huff, Miss Gardner Johnson, Miss Avante Maddox, Miss Nolan Smith, Miss Nakobe Dean. I mean, the two tackles aren't playing interior-wise up to their capabilities. Slay has been old. I mean, at the end of the day, all of these guys, especially on the defensive side, he's whiffed on almost everything here. And you look at the coordinators a little bit limp. I mean, look at Vic's system. I mean, you go like this. I hate Vic's system. Well, you hired him. You knew what he was. He was two-eye safety, and he played guys 10 yards off the ball. I mean, give me your sense of Howie's accountability in this.
Oh, I think Howie's definitely accountable. I think it's to the point now where if you get continued performance like you're getting from Jordan Davis, Nolan Smith, Bryce Huff, if this plays out the way this year's gone so far, I think you have to strip talent evaluation from him, or at least put somebody there that can be a true evaluator, because those are a lot of draft picks to miss on. Those are a lot of free agents signings to miss on. Listen, nobody was going to miss on Devontae Smith. Nobody was going to miss on Jalen Carter. I mean, to me, those ones that he's hit early were no-brainers. So I think you need a real talent evaluator. And I'm not saying get rid of Howie. I'm not saying he can't control the draft. All I'm saying is when he looks at his draft board and he goes, all right, this is our draft board, it's built by somebody other than him. That's what I'm saying.
Brandon Graham is going to play in his 200th game as a Philadelphia Eagle. He is the first guy in the history of the franchise. Give me the Philly.500 Mount Rushmore of Eagles in your lifetime that you would put on that. Is he on that list, or do you think there's four guys that you would give me your four guys that you put on that list?
My four guys would be Reggie White, Brian Dawkins, Randall Cunningham, and probably I might put McNabb or Jerome. It'd be one of those.
What about Kelsey?
That would be, I guess you could put Kelsey, but my specific, those would be my guys. I mean, those were my guys growing up. That's what I grew up on. So I would put those guys. I think Kelsey's fair to say, because I think Kelsey's in that class.
Finally here, who's under more pressure in going into Sunday's game, Hurts or Sirianni?
Sirianni. No, I think Nick. I think it's
a
lot
easier for his job. You think he's coaching for his job?
I do, because obviously, if the owner had to sit there and babysit and try to deal with him and Jalen Hurts, it's easier to go away from the head coaching than the quarterback you're paying big money to. So I think that they would get rid of the coach before they would get rid of the quarterback. I hope that they would, because otherwise you have a big problem, and we need to start loading up on first-round draft picks in a few years, because I don't see how you could protect Nick over Jalen first.
I'll tell you something, man. We had your boy on Wednesday, Mark Holmes. Man, he's drunk. He's drunk with the fact that the Eagles are just stumbling around. He's 3-2 right now. And I told him he's going on a 4-game losing streak. I said, dude, you're going on a 4-game losing streak. That Cowboy team is not going to go anywhere. He told me he thinks that team's an 11-win team.
That team can only beat teams that are not that great on offense. If you have a decent offense, they can't keep up. I thought the Steeler game, I thought Fields stunk, to be honest, throwing the ball. And then I think Najee Harris looked really bad. And I don't think Pittsburgh ran the ball enough. But I don't think they can beat offenses that can go. So I expect Detroit to destroy them this weekend.
Absolutely.
So I think Mark will be coming back to earth real soon.
They're only drinking like rum and shit. Like this guy's a real aristocrat. Like he's like the stupidest Cowboy fan I've ever seen.
Oh, you don't know.
Holy
That's
cow,
just,
dude.
Yeah.
It's like Dak Prescott's his adopted son or something. The guy,
Yeah.
I'm like, what about the little tiff between CD and Dak? I mean, hey, are you concerned about Washington now, though?
Yeah. Yeah, people tell me not to be, but I think they're the second best team, at least in this division. Maybe the first best team right now. I mean, right now they're the best team.
Right now they're playing better than Philly.
I think Jaden Daniels is a problem long term. More than just this year. I think that kid's the real deal. So I think that they're going to be good. If the Eagles get it going, I still think they're better. But I mean, I think Washington's better than Dallas right now, and they're playing better than anybody, like you said. So I do think they're going to lose 2 to Baltimore this week. So I think they'll come down to earth a little bit. But that Mark Holmes dude, his glucose levels right now are extreme danger. All the eating he's doing in his stream, I don't know if he's high on carbs.
Hey, Philly, jelly donuts will do that to you. Okay.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Hey,
watch that guy's stream. Every quarter there, he's got a whole new meal on camera. He's just eating away. It's disgusting. He's disgusting.
Yeah, food flying everywhere, getting hit by particles. It's no good, man. Hey, man, I'll tell you what. This is going to be an interesting ball game on Sunday, man. They better put the big points on and win this ball game convincingly.
I agree.
There's going to be a lot of comments Monday coming around.
I think this is going to tell us everything we need to know about Nick Sirianni this week. I really do.
Have a great weekend, brother. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You got it. That is our friend Philly.500. Do me a favor, guys. Hit the like button. Please hit the like button. Keep it here, National Football Show.
He's blocked well and tries to cut through the middle. Oh!
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows they